Shalom, Erev Tov, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. Israel warns its enemies, which are trying to rearm in preparation for yet another violent confrontation. U.S. President Donald Trump says Israel will not annex Judea and Samaria amid prospects of widening the Abraham Accords. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Jerusalem and Washington are working together to address challenges and seize emerging opportunities. Israel's intelligence community closely monitors efforts by its heavily battered enemies to rearm. Therefore, speaking at an event of the Israel security agency Shin Bet, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu leveled a warning to Jerusalem's enemies.
איננו מסירים את עינינו מלוח המטרה. לא נאפשר לאויבינו ששואפים להתחמש מחדש לפגוע בנו. אנחנו נבצר את כוחנו פי כמה. אנחנו נפעל להשבתם ארצה של כלל חטופינו החללים. אנחנו נממש את כל מטרות המלחמה. ובעזרת השם נשלים את הניצחון.
Prime Minister Netanyahu went on to address circulating discourse that claims Israel has lost its security independence to the United States.
אני חייב לומר לכם, שמעתי את הטיעון החדש, עוד טיעון מגוחך, שישראל היא לא זו שקובעת את מדיניות הביטחון שלה. אז הנה האמת. כפי שאמרנו גם אני וגם סגן הנשיא ונס אתמול, אנחנו שותפים. אנחנו עובדים יחד. ואני אגלה לכם דבר נוסף. ארצות הברית מעוניינת בישראל חזקה ועצמאית. חד משמעית. זה משיחות עם הנשיא טראמפ, זה משיחות עם כל הצוות הקרוב שלו. הם רוצים ישראל חזקה ועצמאית. ישראל שיודעת להגן על עצמה, לפעול בנחישות, ביצירתיות, בעצמאות, כדי להגן על עצמה, וכשהיא מגנה על עצמה, היא מגנה גם על המרחב.
It's important to explain that while Israel does maintain its strategic autonomy, its alignment with the United States on almost all geostrategic issues is undisputed. This includes the government's current understanding with the Trump administration that Jerusalem would not assert sovereignty over Judea and Samaria. In a statement by the Prime Minister's office, following the Israeli parliament's vote on annexing the referred-to territories, it read, quote, "The Knesset vote on annexation was a deliberate political provocation by the opposition to sow discord during Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to Israel. The two bills were sponsored by opposition members of the Knesset." The statement by the Prime Minister's office further read that the ruling Likud party and the religious parties, which are the principal coalition members, did not vote for these bills, except for one disgruntled Likud member who was recently fired from the chairmanship of a Knesset committee. Without Likud support, these bills are unlikely to go anywhere. Subsequently, in Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump was asked about the Israeli parliament's preliminary vote on assertion of sovereignty over Judea and Samaria.
The West Bank is, don't worry about the West Bank. Israel's not going to do anything with the West Bank, okay? Don't worry about it.
It is important to explain that while many senior officials in President Trump's inner circles do not principally object to Israel asserting sovereignty over Judea and Samaria, President Trump's 21-point plan includes a number of statements that, upon Israel's acquiescence, effectively remove the barriers that stood in the way of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia joining the Abraham Accords, which would be regarded as a geostrategic win for the United States against the Islamic Republic of Iran in particular, and China more broadly. And while the Abraham Accords are also vital for Israel's regional integration, it also grants Arab countries joining the fold effective leverage over Jerusalem as was openly stated by Emirati's senior advisor to the president, Anwar Muhammad Garagash.
No, I think the Abrahamic Accords is a very important of the jigsaw of how peace should look in the region. I think the Abrahamic Accords is a strategic agreement. It sends a message in the region. It's helped us operationally, as I said, on the humanitarian side. It's given us leverage on the issue of annexation. I mean, if we did not have the Abrahamic Accords, what are we going to come and tell Prime Minister Netanyahu and his right-wing government about annexation? We were very adamant about any annexation. Any threatened annexation, I think the UAE was mobilized immediately with the Americans, with the Israelis, that any annexation will actually be a red line for the UAE. I mean, again, we will not discuss what it entails because I think we've averted that. But I think at the same time, it was also a push in order to reach that, the Trump agreement or the American agreement.
The senior Emirati official further highlighted that from Abu Dhabi's perspective, the Gaza Strip should ultimately be given to the Palestinian Authority once it is comprehensively reformed due to deep-rooted corruption, global anti-Israel smear campaigns, and financial support for terrorism, among a long list of other issues.
The role for the PA is still central. But I mean, for us in the UAE, we have spoken about the necessity, and I think at times we've been, a lonely voice really in emphasizing the need for the reform of the PA.
The Palestinian Authority, despite repeated calls by the United States, EU member states, and other Western actors, as well as Western-aligned actors, is not keen on reform, claiming the push for reform undermines the Palestinian cause. During a UN Security Council meeting, the Palestinian Authority's deputy envoy further complained that if the international community seeks to reform it, it should also provide the Palestinians with incentives that would empower it to reform.
The efforts to undermine the Palestinian Authority and its ability to perform its duties, despite its full-fledged commitment to peace that has been put to test over the course of the last 2 years in unbelievable manners, aims at preventing our independence and our statehood. If there are requirements placed on the Palestinian Authority, it must be empowered to fulfill them. And Israel has also obligations that need to be monitored and implemented. We will not shy away from our obligations and from our commitments.
During the Security Council meeting, Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, for his part, emphasized to all in attendance that the implementation of President Trump's 21-point plan would not materialize unless all of the hostages in Hamas captivity are returned home.
Our struggle is not over. There can be no peace, no future, and no rebuilding of Gaza while terror still remains. 13 fallen hostages remain in Hamas's hands. We will bring them home and give them the dignity they deserve. The world must keep the pressure where it belongs, on Hamas, to return the hostages, to lay down its weapons, and to honor the peace plan it signed.
Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hosted visiting U.S. Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio, during the course of which both Netanyahu and Rubio emphasized joint efforts to address both the challenges and seize the opportunities going ahead.
Thank you for having us. And again, we're back here just a little bit over a week after a very historic day where President Trump's work with our partners led to this extraordinary breakthrough. Now we have more work ahead of us, but we feel very positive about it. We're making good progress. It's amazing that in just 7 or 8 days, the kinds of things and systems that have been set up. No one's under any illusions. We've already done the impossible once, and we intend to keep doing that. If we can, we have good partners that we're working on. We feel confident and positive about the progress that's being made. We're clear-eyed about the challenges, too. But the president has made this a top priority, I think, as evidenced by the fact that both Steve Woodcock and Jared Kushner were here for much of the week. I know you spent time with them, and the vice president just left. We crossed on the way. And then I'm here now today because this is a priority. It's a very important achievement, but there's more work to be done and bigger achievements that lie ahead. And so we're here to work on that, and we feel very positive and confident that we're going to get there despite substantial obstacles. We're going to get there.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to thank you if you are a supporter of TV7 Israel, since your donation is helping us produce our daily news updates here from Jerusalem. If you haven't done so yet, namely supported TV7 Israel, please consider doing so. You can donate via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, as ever, pray for our brothers and sisters facing persecution globally, along with prayers for the peace of Jerusalem and redemption of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach, and God willing, until our next update, Shalom from Jerusalem.